On a damp spring morning at Howlett's Wild Animal Park in the heart of England, Tany Aspen awoke to the melodious songs of birds and the crisp scent of damp earth. She was the only daughter of Damon Aspen, a visionary conservationist. Gorillas marked Tany's childhood with an extraordinary blend of family care and the limelight of renowned conservationists, figures usually seen only in documentaries or as icons of conservation. From a tender age, Tany was immersed in the world of park gorillas. Her father believed that fostering bonds between humans and animals early in life could cultivate a new generation of passionate conservationists. Jolta and Bims, two western lowland gorillas, quickly became Tany's inseparable companions. These imposing creatures showed a gentle giant side with her, displaying an almost human tenderness. Under Jolta's watchful eyes, Tany took her first steps, his hairy arm sometimes steadying her over tree roots. Bims, her playful mate, delighted in rolling in the grass with Tany, their laughter filling the air. At lunchtime, they shared fruit snacks, Bims delicately picking apple slices from Tany's small hands. This harmonious coexistence was carefully supervised by caregivers and documented by Damon himself, hopeful to one day demonstrate that peaceful coexistence between species was both possible and beneficial. But on Tany's 5th birthday, Damon gifted her a necklace with a small silver gorilla-shaped pendant, symbolizing her lifelong commitment to her friends and the conservation mission. Kneeling beside her, he closed the necklace around her neck with pride, declaring, "You, my dear, are the bridge between our worlds. The gorillas accept you as one of their own, a precious gift and a great responsibility." Tany's early years were filled with purpose and boundless love for her gorilla companions. She grew up learning about respect, care, and the intricate web of life connecting all creatures. However, as in all stories of growth, the day arrived when Tany had to confront the reality of her friends' mission to return to the wild where they belonged, leading their own groups and contributing to their species' preservation. This farewell, though necessary, proved one of the most challenging and formative moments of her life. As Tany matured, she began grasping the complexity of her father's work and the broader goals of the foundation he led. She knew that the days of innocent play with Jolta and Bims were fleeting, understanding they were first and foremost ambassadors destined for an independent life in the jungle. At the age of 11, the reality of their separation arrived one autumn morning. Discussions among conservationists, biologists, and her father grew intense as preparations for Jolta and Bims' reintroduction into the wild progressed. Proud of their role in conserving their species, yet deeply saddened, Tany spent every possible moment beside them, whispering reassurances and love. "You're going home," she choked out, her voice thick with emotion. "To a place where you can truly be free, where you belong." Jolta, with his ever-perceptive gaze, gently caressed Tany's head, as if understanding the weight of the moment. Their farewell was a blend of tears and smiles, strengthened by her father's conviction that this was the right path. As the trucks carrying her beloved friends disappeared from sight, Tany waved until they were gone, a significant part of her heart traveling with them. The following years were a time of profound growth and discovery for Tany as she immersed herself in the study of conservation and biology, driven to uphold her family's legacy. Yet the longing for her gorilla friends never faded. The hope of seeing them again burned in her heart like an eternal flame. At the age of 23, fueled by nostalgia and a deep desire to check on Jolta and Bims' successful reintroduction, Tany organized an expedition to visit them in the natural reserve where they had been released. With a team of documentarians and biologists, she embarked on this emotional journey, armed with both hope and apprehension of the unknown. Arriving at the reserve, the lush greenery of the rainforest greeted the team, transporting Tany back in time. Every scent and sound evoked vivid memories of her childhood. The days were spent tracking gorilla signs using carefully placed location collars until one rainy afternoon, a subtle movement in the dense vegetation caught everyone's attention. Hearts raced. Cameras poised, all eyes were on Tany, awaiting the defining moment of the journey, the long-awaited reunion with Jolta and Bims, now thriving in their wild home. The moist air closed in around them as they cautiously advanced. Every forest sound, branches snapping, birds calling, formed a breathtaking symphony that both enchanted and unnerved. Leading the group, Tany felt the weight of expectation. Her eyes scanned the surroundings relentlessly, searching for any sign of her former companions. Hours passed, the sun slowly setting, casting long shadows through the trees. Their local guide, Ian, signaled for silence as they approached an area where trackers had recently spotted Jolta and Bims. Excitement and nervousness surged within Tany. She knew the gorillas, even if they recognized her, had changed profoundly after years in the jungle. No longer playful youngsters from the park, they were now leaders of their own group, wild, adapted, and formidable. Suddenly, Ian halted and quietly pointed ahead to a dense thicket. Subtle movements stirred within, a low, almost grunt-like sound echoed. Tany's heart leaped. She held her breath, camera steady in trembling hands, anticipation coursing through her. The vegetation rustled more urgently, and then with deliberate grace, an imposing figure emerged. Bims. His piercing gaze and commanding presence halted before locking eyes with Tany. Time seemed to stand still as they stared at each other, the world around them fading away. Was it recognition in Bim's eyes, or simply curiosity? Tany couldn't be sure, but in that moment, a profound connection bridged their worlds once more. Bims took a bold step forward, his imposing posture a testament to his presence. Tany felt the tension ripple through her team, each member acutely aware of the potential danger posed by an adult gorilla in its natural habitat. She herself felt a respectful fear mingled with a desperate hope for connection. Stepping slightly away from the group, Tany spoke softly, using the same tone she had as a child. "Bims, it's me, Tany," she said, her voice trembling yet resolute. There was no guarantee that Bims would understand her words, but she hoped the familiar cadence might trigger some memory. The gorilla tilted his head, studying her intensely. The group held their breath, witnessing this silent exchange. After a tense moment, Bims emitted a soft grunt, a sound Tany recognized from their past as a sign of recognition or greeting. Ian whispered for everyone to remain calm and avoid sudden movements. They were at a critical juncture where any action could be misconstrued as a threat. Taking another measured step forward, Bim's eyes remained fixed on Tany. She stood still, her heart pounding so loudly she feared he might hear it. Slowly, the gorilla approached closer, his posture relaxing slightly, a sign, perhaps, of acceptance. With each heavy step, Tany felt a rush of relief and joy flood her being. The tension in the air began to dissipate as Bims continued emitting low grunt signs she interpreted of recognition. These were the reassuring vocalizations he had made when they were together in the park during her childhood. Bims stopped a few steps from Tany, his large brown eyes fixed on her. Suddenly, with surprising gentleness for his size, he reached out an arm and lightly touched Tany's arm. Overcoming her initial fear, Tany reached out and touched Bim's hand, feeling the roughness of his skin. An emotional smile spread across her face as tears welled up in her eyes. Then, unexpectedly, Bims did something astonishing. He gently pulled Tany closer and embraced her. It was a cautious but firm embrace, as if he wanted to ensure she was truly there with him. Tany returned the hug, waves of emotion overflowing within her. This reunion surpassed all her hopes. The documentarians, keeping a respectful distance, captured every moment of this touching encounter, aware of its rarity and beauty. Tany and Bims remained embraced for a long moment, a reunion that transcended species barriers, celebrating a friendship deeply rooted in the past and reaffirmed in that magical moment. After the emotional reunion, Tany spent hours observing Bims and his group in the forest, witnessing his leadership and care for his family. Seeing him thrive in his natural environment gave Tany a new perspective on the importance of her family's conservation work. It was living proof that efforts to reintroduce animals to their natural habitat could succeed, a testament to her father's legacy. As the afternoon faded into twilight, Tany knew it was time to say goodbye once more. With a heavy heart, she approached Bims for one last farewell. This time there were no tears, just a profound sense of gratitude and fulfillment. She whispered words of farewell, promising to continue fighting for their shared cause. Bims seemed to understand that this was goodbye. With one last affectionate look and a gentle touch of his hand, he turned and rejoined his family, disappearing among the trees of the dense forest. Returning to civilization, Tany carried not just memories of this emotional encounter, but also a renewed passion for conservation. She was determined to follow in her father's footsteps, expanding and promoting efforts to ensure a future where humans and animals could coexist harmoniously. The reunion, captured in images that soon circled the world, became a powerful symbol of the potential connection between humans and animals, a poignant testimony to the urgent need for environmental conservation.